you find yourself locked in the garden, please call our rangers. Don't climb the fence. So there's obviously been two people that have fallen asleep on a bench and woken up to find they're locked in. This is the palace, known as the Palace Garden, with Captain Phillips. So that was the Botanical Gardens. I hope we could enjoy it without a little bit of rain. I'm going to head up now towards Hyde Park. And I'll see what we can find in Hyde Park. There's a Strelitzia, that makes me think of home. Twice makes me think of a blue crane. Oh, there's the big bus. That's always a good idea to do. State Library, New South Wales. All these buildings are beautiful old sandstone buildings, tucked away underneath these skyscrapers. Here's a bronze here of a little cat, a famous cat. I'm going to just go up and show you. A famous cat that travelled all over the world. Flinders, after which the Flinders Street station was named. He was a naval captain. Here's the story of Trim. So there's Trim. I'm going to zoom in. So he's got a little bronze sculpture on the window ledge of the New South Wales Library. Looks almost like the window underneath which he's placed looks like a Harkesford window. So the story of Trim is the best and most illustrious of his race, the most affectionate of friends, faithful of servants, and best of creatures. He made the tour of the globe and a voyage to Australia, which he circumnavigated, and was ever the delight and pleasure of his fellow travellers. Voyages. Written by Matthew Flinders in memory of his cat. The memorial was donated by the North Shore Historical Society. So Captain's cat Trim has got his own little place of importance on the New South Wales State Library. Isn't that special? Must have been a very, very special cat. choo-choo train. The traveling cat. He's placed under the Mitchell wing. Very auspicious place. So that's the New South Wales Library. It's quite a big building. It carries on. This is the modern edition. Sydney Film Festival is on in June. That's the thing about living in these big cities. There's always so much happening. Students are sitting working, doing research. I love a library. When my son was small, so that would have been 30 years ago, this is Parliament House. 30 years ago, his big treat was to go to the library on a Friday afternoon after school, and we'd go off and spend the afternoon choosing books, and often I would let him use my card, and he'd come back with a heap of books for the week. So this is all Parliament House. You see there's police up on the balcony, so I probably shouldn't be filming up there. And that was his treat. That was every Friday afternoon off to the library to get books. And now I think kids just download a lot of books. This is the original Sydney Hospital. And there's another lovely bronze here of a boar, a wild boar. There's a story attached to this too. So the wild boar has come from Florence to Sydney as a link of friendship between Italy and Australia, and it's in memory of Brigadier General Thomas Fieschi, who loved and served so gallantly for both countries. It's quite an auspicious looking boar. There's a little story here. So these buildings would have been demolished, but fortunately they were saved. This is now the Eye Hospital here, Sydney Eye Hospital. we're almost at Hyde Park. I think there's just one more building, which is the Australian Mint, which we're coming up to. There's the bullion store. So this is the Sydney Mint, 1855. So the original people of this particular area are the Gadigal people. And it's typical in Australia to always pay respect to the elders past and present and emerging, and extend that respect to all First Nations people. Was, is and always will be Aboriginal land. Beautiful. So we're at the entrance of Hyde Park. In the distance you can see the spires of, I think it's a Catholic church. We went in just before Christmas and it had the most beautiful nativity scene. Probably the most beautiful I've ever seen. It's the Westfield Tower. Queen Victoria. So Oz Harvest, this little truck, this yellow truck, is actually an interesting story attached to this. Oz Harvest goes around and rescues food from supermarkets and so on. The person who started Oz Harvest is actually a South African woman, somebody Khan, I'm trying to think of her name, and I think she was from Rosebank in Johannesburg, and she started Oz Harvest. She was working in Australia in catering and organizing functions, and she just said the food wastage was so bad she decided to do something about it, and she started Oz Harvest. So it's a non-profit organization, and they go around, they're huge, they go around all over Australia collecting food that has obviously expired, and they then have big kitchens where they obviously cook food and distribute it to the homeless, the needy. It's just the most incredible story. There we can see Queen Victoria. She's on her pedestal over there, underneath Westfield Tower, and then to the left of her is Albert, her husband. To zoom out so you can see the size of Hyde Park. It's beautiful. So this is obviously Prince Albert Road. So over there you can see one of the little green bikes that you can rent. I think you probably unlock it with your cell phone, and you can pick them up all over the city. We've got Major General Lachlan Macquarie. And Piggy's come to Australia. He's taking a photo. So this is Hyde Park. There's normally quite a few musicians playing Through the trees you can see the church, the Catholic Church. So you're warned not to visit the park during or just after heavy rain and strong winds because of the risk of tree failure. Well, the trees are pretty solid to me. You might get a branch falling, but I don't think the trees are going anywhere. Love the little turtles. Makes me think of Thailand. When we were living in Bangkok, there were always turtles in the palaces, the palace turtles, because they were regarded as very good luck. I saw this Diana, the goddess of hunting. Well, and then you always get some interesting fellow who decided to take a walk in the fountain. Which I'm sure is not allowed, but obviously no police, so you're safe. So often there are musicians on these little pieces of lawn, but obviously no one today because of the rain, although it's not raining. Look how beautiful this is. It's like a green cathedral.
Around these big concerts, even if it's so it's not necessarily going out and slowing down.
Walking under this avenue of trees is so calming. You feel like you're just being enveloped by this green magic. It's like a cloak of peace that just enfolds you. all the autumn leaves are falling. It's a magical time of the year. A lot of birds. We had a plant like this in Melbourne. We used to call it sticky plant. It was in a pot. And at night, sometimes we'd get a fright because we'd think someone was in the apartment, because its little leaves close up at night and sort of lifts its leaves. But it also makes a sort of a sticky residue. I'm actually not sure what it's called. We called it sticky plant. But it was always fascinating to see or to hear its leaves moving at night as it went to sleep. It would give you a good fright. I think there was somebody in the apartment. Look at the different colours of the green, the different shades. Green is so calming. It's a really good color to paint a room. There's one of those green bikes I was telling you about. So that's just left there, and then if you want to rent it, I suppose you just use your mobile phone to get it unlocked, and off you go. It's another wild fig. So this is the Sandringham Garden, a memorial to King George V and King George VI. It was opened by the Queen 1954. Sacred Ibis actually stood in, taking a little dip. And there's the green bike. I think he's washing his face.